We're learning Zila Nishmas Etta Ahuva Bava Basra Perek Beis Mishna Yomi. Marchikin Asila Min Abar Eser Mechamesh Amma. A person has to keep his tree away from his neighbor's pit 25 amas because the tree is mazik the bar. Ubecharoiv ubeshikmo, where the roots are big, those trees have bigger roots. Chamishim amas, not good enough with 25 amas, it has to be 50 amas. Bein milamaylo, bein min hatzad. Whether it's on a hill and therefore the one of them, either the tree or the bar, is higher than the next, or whether they're on equal level. Im habar kadma, if the pit was there first and then he plants his tree, kaitzitz, he has to cut his tree. B'noisin dam, and but he gets reimbursed for it. Rashi explains, based on a Gemara earlier, that since it's only a hezek yachid, over here we reimburse him, as opposed to in the Mishnah before by Marchikin Asilam in a ear, it was a Hazeka de Rabbim, so over there he did not get reimbursed. The im Ilan Kadam, if the tree was there first, lo yikais, then he doesn't have to cut it. Safek zek kadam is safek zek kadam, if he's not sure which one came first. So if the bar was first, then he would get then he would have to cut it. And if the tree was there first, then he wouldn't have to cut it. So if it's a suffix, misafik lo yikais, he doesn't have to cut it. Rabbi Yosi goes l'shitase the ala nizik laharchik es atzma, and therefore afal pisha bar kaidem es ilan, even if the pit was there first, lo yikais, he doesn't have to cut his tree. The bar is dug in one person's yard, and the tree is being planted in the next person's yard. The Gemara over here does speak out that moide Rabbi Yosi begiri delay, that Rabbi Yosi only argues in cases where the hezek doesn't happen right away. So then he holds why al mazik harchikas atzmai al nizik harchikas atzmai. But in a case where the hezek happens right away, then he's going to be moided to the rabbanon al mazik harchikas atzmai. In the case of a tree, the roots growing only happens after a long time, that hezek. Mishna Yud Beis, lo yita adam ilan l'samuch l'stei chavere elim kein hirchik mimeno arba amas. A person has to keep his tree 4 amas away from the field of his friend, and whether it's a stay lovin or a stay ilin. And the reason is because when you plow the field, you need 4 amas, and we don't want that the plow should be going into the neighbor's yard. No matter what type of tree, whether it's a vineyard with grapes on it or any other tree. But if there was a fence between the 2 yards, then you don't have to be marchik dalet amas. Let's say my tree's roots are going into your yard. The Baal Hasada has the right to uproot the roots 3 tvachim deep, because the roots that are 3 tvachim deep are going to ruin his plow, and therefore he could get rid of them. Let's say the Baal Hasada wants to dig a pit over there, and he's going to hit roots even lower than 3 tvachim. He could get rid of even those roots, even if they're lower down. This is going in either of the cases when he uproots these roots, the Baal Hasada is allowed to keep these roots. The Gemara explains that it actually depends if it's 16 amas away or within 16 amas. Because if it's within 16 amas, then we say that Yinika is 16 amas, and then it would still belong to the Baal Ilan. If it's more than 16 amas away, then the roots he could dig up and he gets to keep the eitzim. Otherwise, up to 16 amas, the Sharashim have a tachas for the Baal Ilan, and therefore, even though you have a right to uproot them, but they will go to the Baal Ilan.